investigation into a deadly officer-involved shooting continues. An 18-year-old was shot and killed Monday night at the Homewood Soccer Park on Lakeshore Drive. But the family's attorney says the other person in the car remembers a much different scenario. The family of 18-year-old Jabari Peoples say they want answers and justice after the teen was killed by a Homewood police officer.
This is absolutely tragic, this situation here. We believe that we shouldn't be here. It doesn't make sense at all. Everyone who knows this young man knows the kind of individual he was, stand-up individual, quality individual. What they're claiming, we know it not to be true. It doesn't add up, it doesn't make sense.
Leroy Maxwell, the attorney representing Peoples' family, says Jabari was a college student working security at DCH Hospital, not someone looking for trouble.
Yeah, Jabari, young man in school, had dreams of becoming a member of law enforcement. That was a goal of his. Right now, if he wasn't in this situation, he'd be at work right now, working for DCH, the hospital, doing security, because that's who he was.
According to new details released by Homewood Police, an officer responded to a call about a suspicious vehicle in the soccer field parking lot around 9:30 Monday night. Inside the car, Jabari Peoples and another person. The officer claimed he smelled marijuana and ordered them out of the car. That's when he spotted a gun in the driver's side door. As he attempted to handcuff Peoples, the officer claims he was knocked down and that Peoples grabbed the gun, forcing the officer to open fire. Homewood Police say the officer was wearing a body camera, which clearly supports the officer's version of what led up to the shooting. The family is disputing that claim, insisting Peoples never reached for a weapon. They're calling for the release of that body cam video.
Be transparent, be open about it. If you feel like you've done nothing wrong, share it with the community. We're here, we're standing strong, we're 10 toes down, waiting for some sort of response, and yet silence.
As the investigation continues, the Jefferson County District Attorney will ultimately determine whether the officer's use of force was justified or if criminal charges should be filed. And the mayor of Aliceville, Terrence Wyndham, is also requesting that Aaliyah and Homewood officials release the records and footage from this incident to the public. He says, quote, "This moment calls for clarity and compassion. The people of Alabama deserve both." Homewood police did say they are working on sharing the body camera footage of the incident with Peoples' family, adding they empathize with their grief during this time.
In a statement, the Homewood Police Department says an officer was patrolling the Homewood Soccer Complex Monday night around 9:30 when he came across Jabari Peoples and another person in a vehicle. Police say as the uniformed officer approached the vehicle, he noticed a smell of marijuana. He then ordered both Peoples and the other person out of the car. While Peoples exited the vehicle, police say the officer noticed a handgun in the car door. The officer then tried to place Peoples under arrest for unlawful possession of marijuana. The release goes on to say that Peoples began to resist, breaking away from the officer and grabbing the gun. Police say the officer then fired one shot, hitting Peoples. The 18-year-old was transported to the hospital where he later died. Jabari Peoples' cousin, Deandra, who is speaking on behalf of the Peoples family, says they have spoken with the person who was in the car with Peoples Monday night. The story they have heard is different from what police say.
Jabari and the young lady was out at the park. They wasn't aware that an officer had pulled up. The officer didn't have any lights on. He tapped on the window and asked him, "Little boy, what are you doing here?" And then they got out the vehicle, and he was, from what we're told, the young lady said he was cooperating, doing everything that the officer asked him to do.
And we've demanded to see the video every single day, and the answer has continuously been no. And when asked if there's a timeline for us to view the video, the answer again is no.
The family of Jabari Peoples is still demanding answers and waiting to see the body cam video from the deadly shooting involving a Homewood police officer.
The family's attorney says the request to view the footage has been denied for now, even as Homewood police say efforts are underway to get it to them.
Hello there, villagers. Welcome back to another video here in Stacy's Random POV. And before I start, I want to say my condolences to the family of Jabari Latrell Peoples. He was a young man who was working as a security guard in the hospital and as well as attending college in Alabama. But unfortunately, this young man was taken from his family and from his loved ones too early on. And the sad part is the police are not cooperating with his lawyers and with his representatives. And apparently now we have to wait for the Attorney General to make a decision to go through the footage. But honestly, to me, it seems like they are just buying time to edit the video and make it seem the other way around. But only time will tell. Hopefully his family get to see some justice, and we do get to see exactly what is going on and what happened in this young man's case. Another black man being taken too soon. This is just very sad. And of course, I brought you guys the videos of other creators. Let me know of your thoughts down below, and let's get this discussion started.
Look, you can't be serious. I usually don't do this, but I feel like I got to. Ain't no point in me having a voice if I ain't gonna speak up for this. Another unarmed black teenager unalived, shot and killed by the same people that was supposed to protect him. Was sworn to protect us and ain't doing it. I ain't gonna lie, I'm pissed off. Look, what I'm so pissed off about right now is 18-year-old Jabari Latrell Peoples. 18-year-old that was gunned down by the police in cold blood by a cop in Homewood, Alabama. Nobody said a damn word until it was too late. Bro, I got chills right now talking about it. And I ain't staying silent, and you shouldn't either. The media won't cover it, so I got to. On June 23rd at 9:30 p.m. in Homewood, Alabama, Jabari Peoples, black, 18-year-old, unarmed, unviolent, and compliant, was approached by somebody in an unmarked car. An unmarked car. No lights, no sirens, and no badge. They tapped the window and tell everybody to get out the car. Jabari follows the instructions. Doesn't run, doesn't resist, doesn't fight. Seconds later, he's taken down to the ground, shot and killed. Murder. No warning, no reason, just an execution. And the officer, no attempt to save his life. No CPR, no effort. Just let him die like that, like trash. Where this story get real fucked up at? I apologize for cursing, but I'm pissed off right now. His family wasn't even notified until the next damn day at 10 a.m. on June 24th. By who, you might ask? This is even worse. Not the cops. Not the people that came to the scene initially. Not even the city. Freaking coroner's office is the one that notified him. So think about this. His body was already moved. Autopsy got completed without his parents' consent. Are you even listening to what I'm saying? They didn't even let his own mother see him. They didn't even let his parents identify his body on the day of the incident. My question is, what the hell was they covering up? See, what they didn't know is there was an eyewitness that seen the whole thing. That's not protocol. That's not accidental. That's a cover-up. That's called dehumanization. Sounds like to me that's murder, manipulation, and a cover-up. Jabari Latrell Peoples wasn't some thug. He wasn't somebody running in the streets. He wasn't a threat. He was a student, son, a brother, a young man who had dreams. And he just graduated. The police officer nor the police department gave a damn about any of this. They didn't even give him the courtesy of having his own parents identify him at the scene. He just saw a black kid and they pulled the trigger. And yet, nobody ain't gonna say it, but that's exactly what's going on. I don't care about being politically correct with this story, cause this shit need to stop. I refuse to have him just be another name added to a list that's already too goddamn long. Y'all don't share any of my posts, y'all need to share this one. The family is demanding answers. They want the full police report to be made public. They want all body cams, car cams released to the public, and the identity of the officer who pulled the trigger. That's the craziest part. We still don't know the officer who pulled the trigger. Look, this is what TikTok is about. If anybody got resources, send it out to this family right now. I got a voice, I gotta say it. No more secrecy, no more silence, no more allowing them to kill our babies. An 18-year-old black unarmed boy that was gunned down by police in Alabama. His name is Jabari Latrell Peoples. Say it one more time. Jabari Latrell Peoples. Jabari Latrell Peoples. All I'm asking is that you do your part. Just share this message out to the whole world. Jabari's blood is on their hands, and if we don't raise hell about this situation, they're gonna keep doing it to us. I don't care if you ever look at any of my videos again. All I need you to do is share this one video, because awareness starts with you. It starts with me. And if nobody told you, Chemo told you. Stay motivated and protect your kids like their life depended on it, because as you can see, they ain't doing it for us.
Homewood police killed an 18-year-old kid, I believe on the 23rd, Jabari Latrell Peoples, and won't release the body camera footage. There's conflicting reports. The department is saying he was reaching for a weapon. His girlfriend, who was in the passenger seat at the time, says he's unarmed. There's a really easy solution. Release the body camera footage. The entire purpose of it is trust. And if you won't release it, what is the point of having it? If it backs up your story, what's the point of not releasing it? There is literally no benefit to not releasing the body camera footage and showing us the truth, unless you're lying. And history would have me believe that you are. So Homewood police, release the body camera footage.
Jabari Latrell Peoples' life was taken away in the hands of a police officer in Homewood, Alabama on June 23rd. Okay, y'all, this past Wednesday, right? His family made a statement in regards to what they feel is going on. And I want to read this to y'all because they weren't even warned about this young man's death. He was only 18 years young. This shit is sad as fuck. So let me keep on. Let me read what they stated, okay, y'all? On the night of June 23rd, 2025, at approximately 9 p.m., our loved one, Jabari Latrell Peoples, was shot and killed by an officer affiliated with the police department in Homewood, Alabama, near Lakeshore Boulevard. At no point were we notified by law enforcement or medical personnel. Instead, our family was contacted by the Jefferson County Coroner's Office at 10 a.m., 12 hours after Jabari was actually pronounced deceased. Okay, y'all? By the time we were contacted, his body had already been transported. His autopsy had already been conducted without our knowledge or consent. So they transport this young man's body without their consent. They did an autopsy without their consent. They contacted her 12 hours after. All right. And then they stated that we were instructed to send a funeral home to retrieve him. Basically, go to the funeral home afterwards. Okay. We were denied they said that basically they were denied the right to identify his body. They were denied the right to be present, and they were denied the right, basic dignity. Y'all have to make this shit make sense. All right, y'all. They said on the contrary to reports and assumptions being published today publicly, because honestly, I'm gonna be told, I never even knew that this shit even happened. They're putting so much shit in our faces with Iran, et cetera, that all of these fucking kidnappings that's happening, like the 10 bodies they just found in Buffalo, Bayou, and Texas, you feel me? The man that was hanging in New York City, y'all are hiding so much shit. Y'all put to the forefront Carmelo Anthony's and Austin Metcalf's case, but y'all didn't put this on the news. Y'all not telling us about this young man that just got killed by a fucking police officer. Y'all don't give a damn. Let's keep going. They said Jabari was not armed. He was not aggressive. He did not resist, and he complied. They said he was approached by an individual in an unmarked vehicle with no lights, no sirens, and no visible identification. That officer exited the car, tapped on the window, and told the occupants to exit. They followed directions. Jabari complied, and within seconds, he was taken to the ground and shot. A witness was present. The person saw everything. There was no weapons. There was no threat. And once Jabari was shot, the officer took no saving actions. He didn't do no CPR. He called for no medical attention. Nothing. He was left to bleed out in the middle of the fucking street. This young man just lost his life, y'all. For what reason? For what reason? To the same blue-collar motherfuckers y'all said supposed to be protecting our communities and protecting the peoples. We cannot keep on allowing this shit to happen, okay, y'all? Jabari Latrell Peoples was a college student, all right, y'all? He had a family. He had a future. He had a life to honestly create, and you know what I'm saying? He was unarmed. He complied, and now he's gone, all right? They said that they have not received a full incident report. They have not been given footage. They said they have not heard one word of explanation from the Homewood Police Department of Alabama, okay, y'all? But they have heard the lies. They said they have read the headlines, and they have watched attempts to twist the narrative, which is what they always fucking do. They're going to always twist the narrative. All right, y'all? And they said to let them be clear that this was not negligence. It was not just negligence. It was a violation of Jabari's civil rights, which is true, of their family's human rights, which is fucking true, the right to due process, and the right of fucking decency. All right, y'all? Now, they're demanding immediate public release of the full police report, all available body cam and dash cam footage, identification of the officer involved, a full independent investigation, accountability at every level. Literally, this has to fucking happen, okay, y'all? And they said that they will pursue the case until the truth is finally exposed and justice is served. Not only for Jabari, but for every family member who has ever been forced to bury a loved one without answers. So y'all need to say his fucking name. Say his name, Jabari Latrell Peoples. Say his name. Y'all want to continuously say Austin Metcalf's name? Say Jabari Latrell Peoples' name. All right, y'all? Say his fucking name. And when y'all say his name, say Sandra Bland's name. Say all the fucking names of everyone who has been murdered by a police officer for no fucking reason. Like Tamir Rice, who was 12 playing with a fucking toy at a park, that was killed by a police officer as well. Antoine Rose, 17, was murdered by a fucking police officer, y'all, when they thought he had a gun. They thought he had a gun, right? Then you have John Crawford, who was 24, shopping at Walmart, y'all, buying a pellet toy gun, BB gun. Okay, y'all? He was murdered by a police officer. How many cases are we going to have where this continuously happens? Because I see y'all up under my post. I see y'all commenting y'all opinions, and in regards to Carmelo Anthony, have to go do his time. Murderers deserve to go do their time. All right, that's what y'all are stating. I need this young man to get his justice. There's no way in hell I have not heard about this story until today. Jabari Latrell Peoples. His name needs to be heard.
Here they go again, doing their best to keep this out the media. On the evening of June 23rd, 18-year-old Jabari Latrell Peoples was shot and killed by a Homewood, Alabama police officer. Let's get into it. Jabari's family and friends insisted that he was unarmed, compliant, and respectful when a police officer in an unmarked car pulled up on him without no lights or no sirens. Now, they said that he followed directions and was shot within seconds. Now, they even said they had a witness testimony, and Jabari still laid there on the ground bleeding out without any medical attention, even as others arrived. And then their family said they weren't informed of their family member Jabari's death until 12 hours later. The autopsy had already been done, and from what I'm hearing, they had already shipped his body away. I think that alone, how you do the autopsy and ship the body away before you even involve the parents? That's just denying them their basic rights, in my eyes at least. Now, the police officer is already claiming self-defense. They're saying that somehow this 18-year-old kid was out the car He wasn't compliant. Then he was wrestling with the officer. Somehow got up, got back to his car, got a gun, and then that's when shots were fired. That's how they're telling it, I guess. The attorney is already requesting body cam footage. Well, my question is, why is this not getting the main coverage that it should get? Why does nobody know about this?
I think I have to start reporting news because clearly the mainstream media is not going to cover this. Another black life gone, Jabari Latrell Peoples. I want to make sure y'all heard that right. Jabari Latrell Peoples from Homewood, Alabama, was sitting in his car at a soccer field, just sitting in his car hanging out, when an unmarked car with no lights, no sirens, police officer approached his window. When he approached his window, he did not provide a badge and just told Jabari to get out of the car. And within seconds, he was on the ground dead. Per the police report, Jabari did not comply with the police officer. Not only did he fight back, he fought back enough to get back in his car, grab a gun, and pose as a deadly threat to the police officers, and then caused them to shoot Jabari down. But eyewitness says that that never happened, that there was never any altercation. Jabari never had a gun, and even on the site, the gun was left in Jabari's hand. After this, the family was not notified about Jabari passing away until 12 hours the next morning that Jabari was in the coroner's office, which had already gone through autopsy, and the family was denied the right to identify his body. Not only that, the family has now requested the body cam footage and dash cams from the police to really see what happened to Jabari that night. However, the police had not been able to comply. Originally, the night of the incident, the police did say in Homewood, Alabama, that they were in the process of providing the dash cam footage to the family. However, now that motion has been denied. Keep in mind, in Homewood, Alabama, it is law that the family can request body cam footage if there's deadly force involved. Right now, Jabari Peoples' family is demanding answers. Not only are we are demanding answers. We will not allow another black man to be shot down and with no recognition, or not only recognition, accountability on the police officers as well as the county. We are demanding those police officers be named. We see this body cam footage. We see the autopsy results of what really happened to Jabari Peoples that night.
This is Jabari Latrell Peoples. On the night of June 23rd, 2025 at 9:30 p.m., Jabari Latrell Peoples was shot and killed by an officer affiliated with the Homewood Police Department in Homewood, Alabama. The family was not notified until 10 a.m. today, June 24th, 2025, by the coroner's office. The body had already been transported. An autopsy had already been done without knowledge or consent, and they were instructed to send a funeral home to pick him up. They did not get the right to identify his body, nor did they get the right to be present. Jabari was not armed. He was not aggressive. He did not resist. He was compliant. He was approached by an individual in an unmarked vehicle with no lights, no sirens, no visible identification. The person tapped on the window, told the occupants to exit, and they followed directions. Jabari complied, and within seconds was taken to the ground, shot, and killed. There was a witness present who saw everything. There was no weapon. There was no threat. And the officer took no life-saving measures after or any attempts to resuscitate after he shot Jabari in cold blood. Jabari was a college student. He had a family. He had a future. He was unarmed and compliant. The family is demanding public release of the police report, any and all body and dash cam photos, identification of the officer, and a full independent investigation. This cannot go, and we cannot be silent on this. This young man was on his way to doing great things, and he was struck down at just 18 years old by Homewood Police Department, who is known for being racist in Homewood, Alabama. Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. Jabari Latrell Peoples.
Where's the body camera footage? Homewood, Alabama Police Department, where is the body camera footage? That is the big question. This is 18-year-old Jabari Peoples, and on June 23rd, he was unalived by a Homewood police officer, and his family is demanding answers. Now, allegedly, his family was not notified that he was unalived until 12 hours after, and after, allegedly, the autopsy had already been performed. As an Alabama native, I have never freaking heard of an autopsy being performed that fast. Now, the Homewood Police Department claims that there was an investigation of a suspicious vehicle near an athletic complex around 9:30 on June 23rd. They claim one of the occupants of the vehicle engaged in a physical altercation with an officer and produced a weapon, resulting in the officer pew-pewing him and unaliving him. They state the officer approached the vehicle and smelled the odor of Mary Jane and ordered both occupants, including Peoples, to exit. They claim that after Jabari exited, the officer observed a weapon in the door pocket of the open driver's side door and attempted to handcuff Peoples to arrest him for unlawful possession of marijuana. I thought he just smelled it. Had he found it by then? They claim that Jabari began to actively resist and that in the struggle, the officer was knocked down and Jabari broke away and retrieved the weapon, leading the officer to fire one round to defend himself in accordance with Alabama state law. But the other occupant of the vehicle, who was his girlfriend, says that's not what happened. She claims that Jabari was complying and doing everything the officer said. His family stated he was approached by an individual in an unmarked vehicle with no lights, no sirens, and no visible identification. The officer exited the car, tapped on the window, and told the occupants to exit. They followed directions. Jabari complied, and within seconds, he was taken to the ground and pew-pewed. A witness was present. That person saw everything, and there was no weapon. There was no threat. Homewood PD released a follow-up statement saying the details surrounding this incident are clearly captured on the officer's body-worn camera and that they're making arrangements for the viewing of the video by Jabari's family. But the family's attorney said, however, that there has not been any real effort from authorities to communicate with them, and it's all a charade. If this video shows what we think it's going to, then Homewood and law enforcement need to be prepared to take accountability for it. And of course, Homewood PD and Alabama Law Enforcement Agency have not responded to requests for statement. Let's not even get into how egregious it is that his family had to find out 12 hours later after the autopsy was performed. His father had seen about his unaliving on the news, not knowing that it was his son, before they were notified. If it went as officers are saying it went, release the body cam. That's all the family is wanting, is transparency. My heart goes out to Jabari's family. I'll be tagging my friend Draco below. She's been covering this very in-depth and is going to follow it, and I will post any updates that come along as well.